Welcome, 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 welcome. Everybody got your MAGA hats on. MAGA or market hats, whatever, whichever one you want. They both have the same ethos, you know? Buy it available now at failcodes.com. Good to see you. We are about 10 minutes from the State of the Union, which, based on Trump's activity, is going to be a longer speech. It's going to be a doozy. So buckle up, buccos. Buckle up. Ajax Vibe, thank you for the 49 months. Dr. Nick, thank you for the prime. We have the hottest economy. So I didn't make a bingo board. I didn't have time today, but we could sort of live do a quick one. All right. Because I think realistically, what are we gonna get from this State of the Union? What are we gonna get? If I had to guess, I would say we're gonna get what? I solved 8 wars. 8 wars. There's gonna be Biden at some point. Dow. Gotta talk about the Dow. Hottest economy ever. That's free space, basically. Fake news. Fake news polls. Fake news. Epstein hoax. I don't think he'll mention Epstein at all. If I had to guess, I would say no Epstein mention. This country was dead. Something about the Democrats. Trans for everyone. What does he say? He says, he says Democrats, they want to trans for everyone. Olympic hockey. I mean, that's fire. I will never allow my distaste for the President of the United States to tarnish athletic success at the Olympics. Tariffs? Oh, Supreme Court. What's he going to say about the Supreme Court? I already have 8 wars on here. He'll probably mention Mexico and getting the cartel leader. What was I writing here? I wrote cup. You think he'll say the word cup? And Iran, because we're probably going to strike Iran in the next few days. So he's probably going to talk about that. Do you think he'll say 6-7 and do this? Because that would be kind of Mexico / cartels. Definitely. Aliens? I don't think he'll mention aliens. I don't think he'll mention Greenland. I'm not saying it won't happen. It's going to be a long speech, but I'm trying to... He might mention illegal aliens, I'm sorry, but he won't mention, like, space aliens. Obama? Oh, Board of Peace, maybe? Board of Peace. What is his like go-tos though? He hits the classics. He's definitely saying 8 wars. He's definitely saying our country was doomed. It was terrible. It was going to hell just a year ago, and now it's going to be great. He's definitely going to mention we had the worst leadership. Sleepy Joe Biden, we was the worst. Oh, a year ago we were dead. Oh, that's what he's going to say. I'm sorry. I know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say there's $18 trillion pouring into our country. That's what he's going to say. Guaranteed. This is my free space. He's going to say 18 or 19 or 20 trillion. There's going to be a huge amount of money, and it's going to be pouring into our country. More than any other. Yeah, that's a guarantee. That's for sure. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we're going to have $40 trillion pouring in. Nobody else even got more than 3. Yeah, it'd probably be up from 18 by now. He's gonna up it. Is it live now? Wait, what? Where's my link? Holy. I mean, it's just, I remember this from last year. Oh, the justices are here. The ones he said he almost didn't invite. We should probably get this chat off. The ones he was like, I almost didn't invite him because they ruled against my tariffs. Why is the audio so bad? Does anyone have a better source than this? I can't hear anything. Um, as I recall, these speeches there's a lot of pause for applause. Everybody stands up. Well, okay, listen, we're waiting for everybody to trickle in. I want to say a couple things. There's a few things he's got to cover in this State of the Union. Number one, Trump is going into the State of the Union with declining and already poor polling on almost every issue. His strongest issue, immigration, is now underwater after what happened in Minnesota. So he's got a lot of ground to cover. He has to reassure Americans that are increasingly turning away from him that he's on the right track. That is his, I guess, goal. The main focus needs to be, and I'm saying that not from me, this is like the consensus, is that he needs to focus on affordability. And in fact, I think he's going to try to tonight, is to focus on the economy and affordability. How he's going to do that, I think we know the main standby beats. He's going to say 20 trillion pouring in. He's going to say hottest economy anywhere in the world. Everyone, we were dead a year ago. Now we're thriving. We're going to say, I guess, things like that. But that's the goal of this longer speech. Now, he's got other things to cover, which is what happened with tariffs in the Supreme Court. He's got to cover what's going to happen with Iran, because he's building up a military presence there that's clearly indicating a strike soon. He's got to talk about, has inflation been defeated? He's got to talk about things like that. So that's what we're heading into. And what's interesting about this one is I think most Democrats are not attending. Is that my understanding? Or at least a good chunk of them are not attending, which I guess is a fine strategy, because what they did last time, I don't know if you guys remember this, was fucking horrible. Please never do the little signs again. Oh my God. It made me cringe out of my fucking seat. Please, God. So let him hang himself. I swear to God, I wish they would let him hang himself. When they do stuff, it hurts the very obvious point that what he's doing isn't working. Just let the guy ramble. He sounds terrible. Let him, let his bad words speak for themselves. So, that's another thing I've been saying is God, you guys have been hearing about Kamala Harris thinking about running again. Just don't do anything. Just please don't do that. If she doesn't, the best thing she's done so far is say nothing, because then it makes the focus on Trump, and Trump has done a terrible job. Just let the focus be on him doing a terrible job, which is what's happening. Now we can watch, Melania's here. Holy, star of the hit movie Melania that made $1 million, passing Morbius, the greatest box office hit of all time. Barron Trump mogging, Eric Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. thinking about all the money they've stolen from Americans with their many, many crypto scams. Eric Trump specifically thinking about all the fucking tweets he deleted this morning and yesterday about his previous connections with many crypto scams. He's been nonstop deleting his old crypto history as more investigations come out. So really excited to hear more about that from Eric Trump. Barron should have been a Laker? Dude, watch me flip politically so quickly if Barron Trump's a star Laker. Dude, watch me become the most pro-Trump family guy of all time if Barron Trump starts putting up 30 for the Lakers. I would be... You got to hear him out. Guys, you got to hear him out. He's good in the post. He's good from three. What do you... More. We got Pete Hegseth. We got Scott Bessent. Oh, Pam Bondi. I wonder, Marco Rubio, I wonder if he'll mention the Epstein files. I doubt it. I think he's politically astute enough to know that bringing it up, even to deny it or even to, is just more attention to it. I don't think he'll talk about it. Every time it gets attention, people find out more stuff gets released, and it always looks bad for him. Because I mean, he's very likely. I mean, there was more news today. There was more news today about, let's see. The Justice Department withheld and removed Epstein files related to Trump. There's a DOJ probe about the withholding of Epstein files on Trump. This is a few hours ago. So, and then, again, Thomas Massey was calling this out. He's basically saying the Department of Justice is supposed to be under Congress and it's supposed to get justice. And right now, it seems to be under entirely the president and primarily concerned with obfuscating justice and hiding the guilty. And that's where we find ourselves. So I don't think he's going to mention Epstein files at all. But listen, it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's that. If he mentions that, I'm sold. If he mentions the Dow's almost 50K, I'm sold. All right? If he mentions the golden age, damn, Melania kind of serving, I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. She's mogging. I thought the DOJ was an executive org. Wait, what? Raises tariffs mid-speech? That's a bingo board. We're going to see these two standing up and clapping a lot. A lot of cutaways to these two standing up and clapping. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and JD Vance will be doing a lot of standing up and clapping. This could take a while. We got Howard Lutnick in here somewhere. Speaking of Epstein files, let's get Howard Lutnick to say a few words. We need a bingo card. We sort of made a bingo card. I've got one, but the general gist of it is I want to hear him say 8 wars. Stopped 8 wars. I want to say him say this country was hell. This country was doomed under Joe Biden. And then I want him to say $20 trillion is pouring in from all over the country. From all over the world, I'm sorry. What's the Joe Biden count? I don't know. He might not say the name Joe Biden. He's, I think, recently tapered off of saying Joe Biden's name. He probably will say it at least once. But he just says how this country was so horrible. It was just all, we were dead. We were dead under the last guy. Oh, yeah, he might say people were pouring into the country from mental institutions. He'll almost certainly say that. People were pouring in from everywhere, from mental institutions. He'll probably say that. Can you get an incorrect buzzer sound? Yeah, why don't I get a little fucking sign like the Democrats last year and hold it up and say lie? That would be cool. That'll really show him. That might stop him. Yes, dude. What if I call him a Cheeto? That ought to do it. What if I own him with that? What if I call him Drumpf? We might just fucking win this thing. Dude, one thing I saw, this is cracking me up though, as we go into this speech, was somebody, I think a Trump supporter, who was like, yeah. This is, John Kasich? How am I saying his last name? John Kasich. He was the former governor of Ohio. I don't know if he was Republican or not, but he said, the president has a real opportunity at the State of the Union. Bring the country together. Remind us who we are. We saw it for brief moments, celebrating the Olympic medal wins by Team USA. Politics disappeared and we were simply Americans cheering together. We need more of that. And it's like, bro, that's a great spirit. Who the fuck are you talking about? This is not even like a, you know, whether you love or hate Trump, it's like, just be fucking real. We're 10 years in. He's never made a speech like this. What are we talking about? There's no chance he does this. What, if you can't pick that up 10 years in, how are you an analyst? How are you involved at all in politics? Like, it's crazy. Yes, I'm sure it would be nice if Trump came out and started shooting gold out of his hands and we all got free gold, but that's unlikely too.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
All right, here we go. Donnie T's in the building. What has he got cooked up for our country today? Where is he? Oh, there it is. There it is. Give him a little dance, Donnie. Let's do the YMCA for old time's sake. Let's get a YMCA and a little bit of the golf swing dance for old time's sake. Come on, bring back the classics. Look, Don, you know I've been a lifelong supporter. Well, like, I was just a bigger fan around the election, you know, when it was more like fun, feel good. Now I just noticed that everybody around me can't get a job. And it's like bumming me out. And it's like, I wonder if you could just... Is he balding? First of all, there's nothing wrong with somebody balding. Let's not disqualify Trump's acumen based on how much hair he has. This is hairist. That has no reflection on his ability. I certainly don't want to see that become a big issue. I'll defend the man to death about the hair stuff. What if he says per Atrioc in his speech? You think that's likely? You think Donnie T is going to drop a per Atrioc on us? Let's not rule it out, folks. Let's not rule it out. I have a parlay on it. Well, that's good. Listen, I know many of you out there have parlays on this, and I think that's part of the great American spirit of degenerately gambling on our most important political speeches. Truly awesome sign for our society, as many people live in an economy where they feel that they have to get insane, degenerate bets on what the president might say during a speech just to feel alive, just to make enough money for living. It's awesome. I think that's based. Just one Trudeau fall could... Dude, if he spent months training in the mountains with Trudeau and learned the fall. He rolls down the whole aisle, stands up, I'm fine. That would be something. It's physical strength, you know? Sleepy Joe Biden can do it. Slaps, yeah, Willy Wonka type shit. Willy Wonka type shit. Okay, I see Elizabeth Warren there. I see Fetterman wearing a suit. That's rare for him. Oh, we're getting cheers. We're getting cheers. Okay. Let's see what we got in this speech. Now, my audio is a little quiet. I'm just hoping he sounds... Can someone have a backup stream for me if this... I don't want to miss a moment, and I'm worried I won't be able to hear his... Wait, let me get a backup stream, just in case. You linked my stream. You linked my fucking stream as the backup.
Curtain, but here he...
Okay. There, I gotta back up. Actually, this one's probably better, bro. The Bloomberg one? Everyone in the chat's spamming GME. You think he's gonna mention GameStop? To the moon, America.
And as Rick was alluding to, President Trump does indeed seem to be soaking up this moment as he listens to the applause of those gathered in the chamber, though I would note that applause mostly is coming from one side of the aisle and not the other. But the president taking a moment, Joe, to soak all of this in before he moves to the podium and begins to deliver his speech.
I hope they're not going to.
That's right, Kaylee.
Members of
Dark
Congress
suit,
have
red
the
tie
high
this
privilege
evening.
and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Okay. Trump's
down the aisle was not quite
first
enough, and this is normal.
Real State
Following
of the
this
Union.
introduction, as we mentioned, the president will turn and deliver the bound copies of the speech that he intends to give. Kaylee, one of the questions that you raised is an interesting one. How much time will he spend on the script? He's got a teleprompter all the way in the back of that room on an LED screen to complement the two panels that you see in front of him when he looks left and right.
Shut up!
Let's listen live now
Shut
on
up!
our TV and radio.
Stop talking. I don't care about your. Okay.
Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Movie star, folks. Oh my God, they were singing for everything. Oh my God, this is going to be horrible. Oh, we're going to have so many stop and applause. This is the Joseph Stalin, the height of his power, bro. We're going to be...
Second Lady of the United States.
No, we're doing standing O's? For the second lady?
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans. Our nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
We're back. The hottest
Less than 5 months
Daffy
from
Decay.
now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Golden age. All right, we got golden age. Golden age mentioned. That's a win.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Yeah? Oh, dude, I'm going to lose my mind. You don't have to do a standing ovation every sentence. Just wait till the end. No, I don't do this crap either, though. Just get this. It's cartoonish.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure.
Oh, my God. Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. Bro, this is a clown show.
Today, our border is secure.
I'm crashing out quicker than I thought.
Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before, and our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
Wait a minute, Trump. My broadest life is running a state. Maybe the economy is thriving. Wait a minute.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
All right.
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
Stand up again. Come on, stand up. Now, yeah. He said 4 words. Please, God, stand up again. Kristi Noem. We love her, right? What a hero.
But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
A little loud. A little loud.
The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
Dude, okay, once you stand up for one thing, it's like weird if you don't stand up for all of it, so they have to do it again and again and again.
Last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
No, it's at 3%. It just came out. It's 3%. Most recent number is 3, which is not the lowest in 5 years.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
How about that? Stand up for that. It hasn't reached California. That's because we have commies for
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
It's not true.
And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both.
We're going to do both. Housing prices will keep coming up, but somehow it will get more affordable.
And
don't think about it too hard.
That way. The stock market has set
you can't do both, but don't worry about it.
All-time record highs since the election.
The
Think of
Dow!
that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts.
That's
for the
what I'm talking about, baby.
Millions of Americans, they're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Holy.
Think
All
of it.
right.
Much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
Wow. Yeah, when you make up the numbers, it's awesome.
A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest.
Oh, man, he's hitting the class. They're standing up for that. Dude, watch an old State of the Union from like the 70s, 80s. This is not normal. The idea the president comes out and says, we're the hottest country in the world and everybody's standing up. It's not a normal.
Factories, plants, and laboratories are being built. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
We do produce a lot of oil in America.
Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
How do I get rid of this?
We ended DEI in America.
Thank God. You know,
We've
it's
got a
worth
record
losing
number of
the economy.
job-killing regulations, and
long
in
as we
1
have
year
ended
we have lifted
DEI.
2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
You didn't lift them off food stamps. You just cut food stamps.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Oh, all right. I was worried. I didn't need a simple word to understand it. Good. We're strong. He said the thing.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, no, no. You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever.
Classic.
And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Come on in. Whew. What a segue. She's gotten a little circusy. It's got a little bit of showmanship, I think, for the State of the Union. This is like E3. 3 more years, huh? Did he tousle his hair?
Go ahead.
It's a little bit of a heated rivalry. A little heated rivalry, huh? I think it's cool they won. I still think it's cool. I just think this is a little bit, whatever, it's fine. I don't care. I don't think it's going to be celebrated.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
I think that they weren't, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought they declined. Maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. Again, I don't think it has to be a political thing for a president to celebrate Olympic athletes. I think that's fine, either party, anyone doing it.
And I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, so we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Are they bowing to him? Connor! As a Canadian, Canadian's bad.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. Do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
All right, congrats. He got there. He got there. It's a civilian honor called the highest civilian honor. All right. Okay. I think the prompter had to catch up. All right, man. We get it. Listen, I think it's cool.
Great athletes.
The hockey team, great athletes. They won.
Great, the best. And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand.
Why would his teammates
what
vote against him getting the
job
medal?
You did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
What? They'd have to hate it. What? But okay, it is the State of the Union, Donald J. Trump. People would like to know about more than just our great hockey team.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics,
baby.
And it's the summer version
LA.
Right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
It's going to be absolutely miserable traffic. If you're considering coming, it is going to be miserable wall-to-wall traffic the entire time. You will die on a highway.
And Los Angeles is
still
going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
That's ominous.
And
Correct.
this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, And I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
Great. He said the election was stolen, so he should have won last time, but now he got this time, so he got a better
this will
slot
be
for
a
Olympics.
year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon.
So World War II?
And 81
veteran?
years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Oh, my God. Oh, there it is. That's cool. But they found, they looked at the wrong
So,
guy.
Buddy, you're a brave man, and we
The
salute you.
first guy was the wrong old
Even
guy?
in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die.
And then you saved her, right?
Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
God bless our brave tops. The bottoms get all the credit in this country, but it's the powerful tops who really drive things forward. A selfless top is a hero.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
They were in the middle of a flood. They saw a special officer save a woman, a young girl, and then said, wow, that's something. Wow, that's something. Anyway, hero, nonetheless.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
How about that? Bro, they're getting a workout. By the end of this speech, every Republican member of Congress has done
the military
80
aid to
squats.
please come down.
They're gonna
take care of the service.
This is a leg
Military
day.
aid. Thank you very much. Take care of that very important service.
We got the oldest Congress ever. They're going to be knees blown
From
out.
1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further.
Trump accounts.
Where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern.
Government answers to the people,
that is the
not
debt
the
we
powerful.
owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th
He doesn't even believe
year.
it as he's saying. He's like,
Last year, I urged this
questioning
Congress
the
to
words as you
begin the
read 'em.
mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our
applaud
Republican
this.
majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
no, don't. The big member bill. Is Massey here? Massey, sit down, please. Rand Paul. You don't care about the deficit. What do you Republicans got to sit down
All
for this?
Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead.
Firstly, I do, by the way. On the wealthy, I do.
Big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
No tax on Social Security! Yes! I think 60% of every tax dollar we get should go to old people of any wealth, and I think shouldn't get taxed on it. I want to work my life to make sure the old have as much as possible.
Interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night, as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans,
Really?
Megan and her husband will
Really?
take home more than $5,000 extra
You think
just for the
she
year,
honestly
cutting her tax bill
feels
in more than
so
half.
much richer than last year? A part-time waitress whose husband works in
Megan,
manufacturing.
please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
Come on.
Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan.
How many
Under our
stocks do you think
bill,
she owns?
parents
Is that
like
with the
Megan
Dow being
can
up
also
50,000?
activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name that.
I don't know.
Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row.
The tall man named
Nice
him the
man,
Trump
good
accounts. You just happen to
Tax-free
go with
investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million
That's
American children.
So the U.S. Treasury is taking money that we don't have
They're great people.
and funneling it into the stock market now at current valuations. So we are taking money we don't have and buying the S&P 500 in a 401k. That is a great way to problem stock. It's not a good way to have market price discovery.
He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people. What? And I just kept selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops, so I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
Standing O for Brad Gerstner. I gotta learn that.
So with modest additional contributions,
thank you.
These young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that.
Could
to
be
make
less.
this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. They're setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taking off.
This is a very convenient way to problem stocks right as boomers are retiring and need to sell.
Economic turnaround. The biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And
I don't know
these
it.
countries
I don't know
are
it,
now
Trump.
happy,
Can you explain it to me?
and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong.
No, you're right.
They got it really wrong.
The economists are wrong.
And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from
guy.
the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made. Right, Scott?
The corporations want their money back.
The legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path
1 day
that we
ago,
had negotiated before the
FedEx is suing for a refund, and thousands of other companies are suing for a refund.
So despite
multiple
the
countries are asking to
ruling,
renegotiate their deal because the parent tower doesn't exist
saving.
anymore.
It's saving
just lie.
our country, the kind of money we're taking in.
Fake news. Fake news.
Peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution
showing
that will be
the
even
Supreme Court justices who
before.
voted against you that you appointed is so funny.
Will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Fucking stupid. No, it's not even close. Ah!
Right?
Man, I have to crash out. I'm so sorry. I have to crash out really quick. We are in a massive deficit. Massive. We're not even close. The amount of taxes we raise right now is not even close to the amount of money we spend. The idea that the tariffs, which are a very small part of what we get in income, could make up for all of income tax to even get us close to our deficit is insane. It's nowhere fucking close. And the idea that we could cut income tax and not immediately blow out that deficit to completely unsustainable levels, it's already at World War II levels, is crazy. I'll crash out later.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America.
I got cortisol max.
Because we finally have a president who puts America first. Put America first. I love America.
Stand up for that. Stand up for that. Come on, bro.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great,
Finally,
who
a
make our country
non-corrupt
run.
president.
Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now, the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
That's the strategy? I'm sorry. The strategy on affordability is no longer saying it's not real. It's that it is real. We have the control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, but it's the Democrats' fault.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it.
Electricity prices are going up.
Big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times.
Wait a minute, guys.
The crushing cost of health care.
I'm sorry. Am I crazy, or is Trump sometimes saying things that are not true? Wait a minute.
Since the passage
maybe I'm going crazy.
the Unaffordable Care Act.
Is he saying things
sometimes
that might be
referred to
like
as Obamacare? Big insurance
a
companies
lie?
gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance
Maybe
companies,
I'm
not for
dumb.
the
Maybe
people.
I'm missing something.
With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost. In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else.
Nothing is going
I'm
down
also
in
ending
price,
the
bro.
wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
It's just not. Like, nobody's noticing that prices are going down because they're not.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action.
That's what you're
but
doing.
I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
I think most favored nation is a good idea.
So in
And
my
he's not doing it. He talked about
first
this,
year of
he made
the
a video
second
10
term,
months ago. It hasn't happened. There's
should be
no.
my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement.
It's just
The
like-
result is
do people
price
think we have the
differences
lowest
of
price for
300,
prescription drugs in the world
400,
right now?
500, 600%.
Do you think we have that in America?
All
The
available
lowest
right
price
now
for
at a
prescription
new
drugs?
website called
It's
Trump
it's not true.
.gov, and I didn't name that one either, by the way.
Has anyone bought any prescription drugs in America? You would know that's not true.
And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500. A reduction of much more, actually,
What's
than
the Mark Cuban one?
$3,500.
What's the Mark Cuban
Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going
drug
to
website?
be a great mom.
Cost Plus Drugs? Trump RX is the same kind of thing as Cost Plus Drugs, where it hits a very few number of drugs that are generic, that they can still run this trick on to get a lower price. But it hasn't solved all of the, patent-trolled key drugs that most people need for things like cancer
So
and
now
everything
I'm
else.
calling
It's like,
on Congress to codify my most
yeah, it's just good
favorite
RX with different
nation
labels. It's just a
program into
relabeled-
law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills.
True.
Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory, so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially
might be a good
down.
idea. I'll have to read it.
This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed.
That guy
So I'm
smiles
telling
creeping me
them
out.
they can
Could be
build
a good
their own
idea, for
plant.
sure.
They're going to produce
I
their
mean,
own
look,
electricity. It will ensure the
Sorry, I
company.
got to pause one more time. This AI data center thing is becoming a huge political flashpoint, and I think he's just getting ahead of it. People are fucking angry. Bernie Sanders has been on, other people have been on this because the AI data centers are driving up electricity costs in all areas they're built. And people get really fucking mad. They don't like that at all. And so there's like a moratorium they're trying to get on building them. And so he's, I think, getting ahead of it with trying to get some kind of political thing here that caps prices. Whether it's effective or not, it depends. Because all the time he announces things like this, and then the actual effectiveness ends up being zero because they find a regulatory loophole and get around it. There's no teeth to it.
His ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership.
Sleep?
With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up into thousands single-family homes.
And this is all like shit that doesn't address any of the problem. It's all like stuff you throw to the base. It's like empty announcements.
And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes
we have
for
to get
people,
home prices
not for
down. That's the main thing, and he's saying he's not going to do that.
Just fine. Raysel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
Old people.
Since I took office, the typical
They vote,
401k
folks.
balance is up by at
They
least
vote,
30,
and we need to spend 60 to 70% of all of our tax money on
We
them.
have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker.
My fucking
We will
God.
match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year as we ensure that all Americans.
Bro, this is kind of crazy, actually. This is just leaning more and more in to that we will have government prop up the stock market. This is crazy. Not the money. I'm saying, like, all these plans, this fucking Trump child plan, this fucking plan, are just different ways of getting government money to prop up the stock market.
Can profit from
So
a
they
rising
cannot
stock
fall.
market. Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
This is a great idea. They should do this.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here?
Hey-yo.
Doubt it.
Hey-yo.
Pass the Stop Insider
Did your son
Trading
stand
Act
up?
without delay.
Does your son and Pelosi have a lot in common, bro?
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts,
Something else
Maine,
happened in
and
Minnesota.
many
You gonna
other
mention
states
that?
are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that
Two big
shreds
things happened in
the fabric
Minnesota.
of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
The War on Fraud by J.D. Vance. And what is that? This is like Doge? Because I remember we had that last year. We had a war on fraud. And you had the
They'll get it
great
done.
Elon Musk.
And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly.
Well, how are we
That's
running
the
this
kind of
back?
money
You
you're
tried this
talking
last
about. We'll
year.
balance our budget. the Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota.
I would bet everything I have. I'll bet every dollar I have that we don't have a balanced budget next year. I'll bet everything. There's zero chance, not 1%, 0% chance.
Remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA.
Say about One Piece?
And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
Kind of wild. Cameron's lingering when he's talking. That's some fucking people.
Delilah Colvin was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
Child props, bro. Sweet family, though.
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
Okay.
And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times.
J.D. Vance, look at it, shaking his head to show he disagrees with murder.
Killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again, if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
This is a real, we got to win the midterms type speech. Let's lean into the shit that works. Talk about fucking immigration, demonize it, try to make it.
Have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off.
Is he going to talk about trans for everybody now? Is he talking about...
They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
This is such a political fucking clown show, bro. This is so... You remember the fucking thing we showed at the beginning? The John Kasich. What an idiot you are, John! What a fucking idiot you are! Why the fuck did you ever expect? Mark Kelly just... this is some North Korea shit, bro.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is just feeding into what he wants, bro. Don't even show up. This yelling back and forth, it's just, this is so stupid. Just don't show up. Just don't show up. It's just rage bait. It's just for TikTok. Like, nothing about the real problems in the country are getting solved right now. There's people chanting USA and then rage bait, and it's just it's a clown show, bro.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. to stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
The Save America Act is attempting to federalize, it's putting all the power of
military or
the
travel.
White House,
None.
our elections. It's not just about voter ID, it's about federalizing our elections so that all the voter rolls are in one hand and you can decide basically who wins.
89%.
Save America Act is extremely dangerous. The goal is that he's losing the polling for midterms and he would like to control the elections to cause doubt and chaos and make sure that he can ensure a win. That's the point of that act.
New York City. I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people.
The focus on it is because they are losing the polling for midterms.
Want some to shovel snow, but if you
Trump
apply
wins
for
with
that
that. What
job,
does
you
Squeak
need
say?
to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
This is an attempt to steal this election. That's what we're on. This is an attempt to steal the midterm election. The Save America Act, the 48 lawsuits against states to try and get access to their voter rolls, it is an attempt to get ahead of the fact that they're losing the polling for midterms. It's a horrible act.
They don't want to do it. Why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
This is spooky time in America, bro. The goal of this is, again, to put all the power for every state's election in the federal government.
And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up. And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this?
Who can't believe it,
15 years
bro?
ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
Housing prices are like 14 times income. You talked about affordability for 5 minutes. You said it was all the Democrats' fucking fault.
Look, nobody says that.
And now you're talking about this horse shit to try and rile everybody up before the election. You haven't mentioned the Epstein files once, Ro Khanna. He's like the most
amazing
boomer Fox News style stories.
We're lucky we have a country with people like this. Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Let's see live fact checking.
No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it?
Movie star.
Who would have believed that?
And what a
over the past
massive
year,
hit the movie
she
was.
She has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
Shout outs. More guest stars than SNL. Bro hasn't spoken like one 3-sentence chunk without shouting out somebody in the crowd. It's just, he's an insane State of the Union, bro.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God.
Yeah.
Tremendous renewal.
It is tremendous, huh? Amen.
This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy.
You're a great friend. We're hitting some real fucking...
So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
Do a backflip. Do something crazy. Fireworks, maybe.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible.
I think that was from the Founding Fathers, right? I think that's in the Constitution. We love religion, and we love bringing it back. I think that's one of America's core tenets, right? is when the president gets up on stage and says, we love religion and we love bringing it back.
A beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Surutska.
It's not even a little bit religious.
In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill.
This is a gross thing to do.
Came in through open borders.
People that are murdered or experience crimes, and you bring them out as props, and you zoom in on them, and you tell this garish story as a way to like rile people up. It's gross, dude. It's a gross State of the Union.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there. Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom.
Oh my God, another one.
After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like her.
I wonder how many more there's going to be. Just people he has no connection to in any way, brought out as props. Zero substance in the speech. Maybe
So
this last
sorry.
time, but it was
Thank
like
you very
2.
much.
It was like, there's now been 6 or 7 now.
A
Wow, I
great
didn't mean
young
that.
lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was
I didn't
Staff
mean
Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation.
This
But she
is not
turned
a
out to be
State
right,
of the
right,
Union.
Melanie? She turned out to
This
be
is
right.
nothing like any previous 45 presidents giving a State of the Union. It's a show. It's like a pastor at one of those mega churches. It's like a mega church pastor doing different little skits, and it's like a rally. It's a rally. It's like a mega church rally, yeah.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from?
Was that
She's the
Shane
most
Gillis? I didn't
positive
see.
person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous
Oh, I didn't see you guys. I was looking at
recovery. He's got
chat.
a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, Giga Chad. Like the old version of Giga Chad. Wait, who is that? What is Morgan?
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
All right. Congrats. All right, W. It's like half award ceremony, half mega church rally, and 101%
We love
American,
you all.
baby.
Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for
said love you
Americans
so
at home,
sweetly.
and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never
you.
been
Say it back.
stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars.
8 wars!
Including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand. Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve.
Level.
Thank you, Jared.
Proceeds at a very low level. I wouldn't classify that as a war. God, Jared fucking Kushner, dude.
And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Thanks.
People don't like you.
Humble.
You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way. Right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
A little palace intrigue. There's been some thoughts that maybe Trump is favoring Marco as a successor over J.D. Vance.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that?
Which, by the way, I support. Not that I want either of them to win, but Marco Rubio is way more competent than
Nobody thought it was possible.
And didn't
Nobody thought that was possible.
defend the
Both
Alex
living
Petty
and
stuff.
dead, and those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time, and they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back, but we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead, of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug, and they dug, and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job.
Doug got shot out?
They finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
What a period of time that was.
And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000
That was a
soldiers
day one,
are
I
dying
thought.
each and every month. Think of that, 25,000
You said day one.
soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation
now.
last June,
Congress
the United
and
States military
Supreme Court
obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
Right. And yet, despite you claiming to completely have eliminated it, you are now claiming you might have to strike Iran again because of their weapons capability, the nuclear weapons capability. So if you obliterated it, why is that?
The policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon, many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb.
Soleimani, the father of the roadside bomb. The kingpin strategy.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests. 32,000 protesters in their own country.
It's true. Horrible. Truly horrible.
They shot them.
What the Ayatollah's regime has done.
We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of
you didn't do
serious
this. They
violence.
didn't
But
stop
this
nothing.
Some terrible people. They've already developed
Stop
missiles
nothing, and in
that
fact,
can
you
threaten
baited the
Europe
protesters.
and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions.
How convenient.
We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
So, I mean, look, if you guys are not following, I just want you to know, we had a U.S. bomber strike on Iran where they claimed, I mean, direct quote, you can look it up. They said, we completely obliterated the Iranian nuclear capabilities. Any reports otherwise are fake news. That's the exact quote. That's the exact quote. And then he, in speeches, was saying, we wiped it out, completely off the map. It'll be decades behind now. And now we are we're like months later, and we're talking about invading Iran because they might be building nuclear weapons again. It's absurd. It's like...
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
We don't even stand for this. This is absurd.
No nation should.
20 years ago, we invaded Iraq because they might have a nuclear weapon. Does anyone remember what happened? Am I going crazy? Like, none of this has been about the Union. If you are an average American who's just mostly concerned with the fact that everything's getting more expensive and shittier and that jobs are disappearing, he has spoken about you like for 30 seconds. This is a bunch of bullshit, bro. This is classic political bullshit.
Never doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue
tax on
to
tips.
do
You're right.
so.
Never mind.
Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built
The Dow's
together.
with DK, true.
It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very,
The Dow
very
is
effective.
DK. You're right. The Dow's with DK. I have to admit it. Peace through strength. The only way to stop a bad guy with a nuke is a good guy with a nuke.
So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because, as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country.
I thought you said all the job growth was private
NATO
sector.
countries are.
Didn't earlier in this speech you say all the job growth was private sector, and now you're saying the government is spending money on the military, which is creating a lot of jobs.
Friends and allies. They
What do you say,
are. There are
100%?
friends and there are allies have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%,
during
which
the
they weren't
speech.
paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as
Dude,
opposed
it's like
to
the
not paying
50th squat JD Vance has done.
And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting.
Recession
And
indicator.
every service member.
Recession indicator. It's not patriotism. It's the need for jobs because private sector jobs don't exist. People are signing up for the military because they're desperate.
And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute. For $1 more, we can have $1,776. It's going to... I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. $1 more. I said, $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was
So
4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it.
So
They deserve
stupid.
it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also...
Bro, we're standing O for the random we love our firemen? Everyone's standing O for this? This is such a clown show country, bro.
We're also
We need smart people in charge. We have good geography.
Western Hemisphere,
We could have a real country.
We have interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
All right. We made drugs illegal. Yes. Finally, we will stop drugs by declaring them bad.
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that.
Absolutely untrue. No, that's not true.
Do
you think drugs have stopped coming into America by sea?
Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January.
El Mencho is dead. The kingpin strategy prevails. Mexico killed him now. It was American intelligence help, I think, satellites.
In January, elite
But it was,
American warriors
Mexican
carried
army
out
that did
one
it.
of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it.
I don't know who that was supposed to be.
Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby is becoming so important.
Dude, his son's face, bro. Just knowing how much crypto grip that guy's done. Just legendary, really.
And America's armed forces overwhelmed All defenses are not only defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
We ended his reign. And we did that by putting his second in command in charge. The same regime has total control of Venezuela and is still cracking down.
The United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for
it's
both
the
of our
same
countries
regime.
and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
All right, what's the story? What's the story? We're doing some Oprah stuff? You missed the crazy part? What happened? They brought in a captured guy? Wait, what? Rewind?
Thank you, Enrique.
I don't want
Have
to
a good
rewind.
time.
What
Nice to have
happened?
you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes.
No, I'm not going to rewind. Just tell me what
It
happened.
was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor.
You brought Maduro out?
Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit
He was a guy
of the
in
first
prison.
helicopter.
Okay. I see.
A big,
He's a Venezuelan
beautiful,
prisoner, okay.
powerful helicopter.
Powerful
It was a
helicopters.
massive Chinook, carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected
Okay,
military
stop.
fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about.
The most important part of flying
And
a
even
helicopter is
as
your
he
legs?
was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those
It's like a
lives and
fanfic.
souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out.
Bro is just squint reading Tom Clancy. That's what we're doing right now. That's our State of our Union. Is our president is squint reading an airport Tom Clancy novel.
Unbelievable what's happened to his legs. Of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife,
and then the helicopter
Amy,
landed.
Eric, and Amy.
And the gunfire was crazy. And you should, like, tell a story if you can tell a story. Paint a scene. Oh, medal for this guy. Man, he's seen some shit. USA.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Sheesh! The Medal of Honor. So that we could replace Nicolas Maduro with his VP, keep the regime in Venezuela exactly the same. Trump could capture some of the oil and put it in a Qatari bank account. There is nothing more honorable at the highest level. I'm super glad this actual hero's leg got shredded so that we could change absolutely nothing on the ground in Venezuela and some money could end up in a Qatari bank account. That's what he's And I hate Nicolas Maduro, but we didn't change anything. Yeah, it was an impressive operation. It was an impressive operation, legitimately. Well executed. But there needs to be a point.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House. And Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being
a true war hero. And I think he did all that so that one day he could sit next to movie star Melania.
He didn't want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Was cheesing. From Melania, too. From one American hero to another. It must be such an honor to get it from Melania. I think Trump should have him present her one too. You know what I'm saying? Just to be fair. There should be a second one that he gives back to her, because the Melania movie was as heroic as anything he did in an aerial dogfight. Let the man sit, bro. That guy is 10 years younger than Atrioc. All right. Let's simmer down. Let's not say things we don't. Let's not. Come on. Hey, let's have some decorum for the speech.
I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it. But if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you.
We just clap for this.
Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom. the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome.
That's so
no
classic
frontier
America.
too vast for us to conquer.
Chosen
No dream
by
too bold
God
for
to work
us to chase.
his miracles.
No horizon too distant for us to
He
claim.
picks favorite nations.
For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
All right. 2-hour speech in the books. He ended that shit with some ChatGPT, bro. So what, like an hour 45 of like insane prop-based rage bait and culture war shit. 15 minutes at the end of ChatGPT, America's the best. Wow. Generational. A generational State of the Union, bro. And in the middle, yeah, an hour of clapping. So probably an hour-long speech, tops. I'm shocked. Was there anything of substance there? Maybe there's that one policy. There was like that one policy in the middle that I liked about forcing AI companies to subsidize the power of their own data centers. That was like the one thing of substance in the whole speech. Everything else was stuff he's either already said or enormous rage bait. Not the drug prices, because I've already done a video of the drug prices 10 months ago. It's a huge bait and switch. It's just the rebranded RX thing that already existed. It's not like a real sustainable bringing down of drug prices. Hitting some selfies, though. And no infiltrating in Congress. Bro, the Pelosi Act, which they named after her, has been up for vote for like 6 years. I mean, they keep bringing it up every year. It never happens. I'll believe it when I see it. Like, it's just a speech. It's just talk. The idea that he talked about affordability enough is crazy, though, because it was so little, and that's the Americans' number one concern. Most people are very, very upset with the state of the economy. They're very upset with rising prices. They're very upset with decreasing job opportunities. And he barely spoke about it. It was so tiny. It was like no tax on tips. They said there's a part-time waitress is now rich.
And he kept his remarks fairly temperate. He talked about the unfortunate decision. He didn't call anyone out by name. He spent more time calling out Democrats tonight, Kayleigh, for not standing up to applaud him.
Yes, and telling Democrats that they were to blame for higher prices Americans are facing, including on health care. To your point on tariffs, Joe, after calling the Supreme Court ruling unfortunate, he also said congressional action on tariffs will not be necessary, suggesting he will be taking other action at the executive level. But he did have some specific asks of Congress tonight, calling on Congress to codify his most favored nation rule when it comes to drug prices, to pass an investment ban on firms buying homes, to pass a stock trading ban for members of Congress. He also wants Congress to pass a law barring any state from granting commercial driving licenses to illegal aliens. So he did have some requests for the legislative branch, even if he largely spent the majority of this almost 2 hours, Joe, talking about things he has seen himself as achieving at the executive level.
Well done. And pointing to more things that he wants to get done, to your point, calling on Congress to pass the Save America Act, Kayleigh. And when he got to that matter of voter ID, he called out Democrats.
I mean, this is the big one. I just think the Save America Act is perversely named, because its entire goal is to scam this upcoming midterm, man. The polling is horrendous. All the early elections have been terrible for him. You know, the small ones, the mayoral elections, it's just sending a bad trend. Like states and counties that went for Trump 17 points are now flipping because people are so angry about the economy. And so this is an attempt to deeply politicize the election, to federalize it, to control the voter rolls, and to cast doubt if he were to lose it, to cast serious doubt. That is the goal of it, 100%. That's why he's pushing for it so hard.
He said they want to cheat. They have cheated, and their policy is so bad. The only way to get elected is to cheat, and we're going to stop it, he said. This was a very tough speech on Democrats, most of whom sat on their hands for most of the night. And I'll just let everybody know that we did replay the beginning of the speech from last year. Al Green, the congressman, Democrat from Texas, was escorted from the chamber once again. He brought a sign with him, Kayleigh, which does not make the sergeant at arms or the speaker very happy. And as he tried to address the president firsthand, he was taken out of the room by the sergeant.
Yeah, I think that's stupid of Al Green. What a stupid thing. I think the signs and the props are always stupid. Just create a rebuttal afterwards. Where's my? How can I not see my? Why can't I see my dashboard? One more strong letter will do it. Yeah, one more strong letter will do it. He wants to go home early. And maybe it was a way to get out of it. Maybe he wanted to show up, do the sign, and get out. But is there a rebuttal? Is there a rebuttal? Apparently, Abigail Spanberger's about to do one. Where is it? It's on TV. I don't see it. Oh. No, but the audio's terrible. Do not watch?
In our spotlight.
Why would I watch? Why would I watch it? People should be allowed to give their response. As if it's 2 hours, so I can't watch it, Brian.
There were people in this room. The people who served here ultimately dreamed of what a new nation, unlike anything the world had ever seen, could be. The United States was
Oh, you guys were
founded
betting
on
on
the
it.
idea that ordinary people
Let's see.
could reject the unacceptable excesses of poor leadership, band together to demand better of their government, and create a nation.
I'm going to watch this, but I just feel like a short and sweet response would be so much better. Just saying like, yeah, there's a bunch of lies. A bunch of lies. There was a bunch of lies. Listen, if you as an American feel poorer, if you feel like it's harder to get a job, if you feel like things are getting more expensive, then don't trust this leadership. I think that would be so simple. Like that should be the...
That would be an example for the world. And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state of our union. Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president.
True.
So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family?
Okay.
Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? As I campaigned for governor last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern everywhere.
Dude, I'll just keep it short, though.
Costs are too high.
True.
Housing, healthcare, energy, and childcare. And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country. Because since this president took office last year,
Electricity
his
up.
reckless trade policies have forced American families
Tariffs,
to pay more
dog
than
shit.
$1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing
True.
entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done. Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike on you and your family.
True.
And Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor. Rural health clinics in Virginia and across the country are already closing their doors thanks to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, championed by the president and Republicans in Congress. And tonight, the president celebrated this law, the one threatening rural hospitals, stripping health care from millions of Americans and driving up costs in energy and housing, all while cutting food programs for hungry kids. But here in Virginia, I am working with our state legislature to lower costs and make the Commonwealth more affordable.
I think she needs more Riz.
And it's not just me. Democrats across the country
But I
are
like
laser
the
focused on
substance of part of
affordability
it.
in our nation's capital and in state capitals and communities across America. In the most
better lighting?
innovative
Yeah,
and
maybe better
exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again, is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no.
True.
I grew up in a house of service. My mother was a nurse, and my father was a career law enforcement officer. I began my career by following in my father's footsteps as a federal agent, working money laundering and narcotics cases. I worked side by side with local and state police to keep our community safe and to uphold and enforce the law. Law enforcement officers across the country know that it is a unique responsibility to do the serious work of investigating crimes, comforting victims, and making arrests. It's about building trust, and that requires an abiding sense of duty and commitment to community. And yet, our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be Americans. And they have done it without a warrant. They have ripped nursing mothers away from their babies. They have sent children, a little boy in a blue bunny hat, children to far-off detention centers. And they have killed American citizens in our streets. And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability. Every minute spent sowing fear is a minute not spent investigating murders, crimes against children, or the criminals defrauding seniors of their life savings. Our president told us tonight that we are safer because these agents arrest mothers and detain children. Think about that. Our broken immigration system is something to be fixed, not an excuse for unaccountable agents to terrorize our communities. After working in law enforcement, I continued my career of service as a CIA officer,
I don't know.
working undercover to protect the United States and our allies from global threats, terrorism, nuclear weapons, and the aggression of adversarial nations around the globe. But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia, bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran.
We're not ceding
Here's
strength.
the truth.
She did it in the
Over
wrong
the
order.
last year, through Doge,
We're
mass
ceding it to
firings,
China
and the
and-
appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions, our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force for good. So I'll ask again, is the president working to keep Americans safe, both at home and abroad? We all know the answer is
Dude, imagine if she stopped when I said to stop, like right at the beginning. Kept it simple.
no.
I feel like
In
this
his speech tonight, the president did
they
what
just
he
let me write
always
this shit. I
does.
swear to God. I'm
lied,
not kidding.
he scapegoated,
Somebody
and
at
he
the DNC,
distracted.
let me write this
And
shit.
he
Just let me
offered
write it.
no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits from his rhetoric, his policies, his actions, the short list of laws he's pushed through this Republican Congress? Somebody must be benefiting. He's enriching himself, his family, his friends, the scale.
Dude, almost all this is true. I think it's this is a sad thing to say to affairs. I think it's just the way she delivers it sounds so much like a politician who doesn't actually care about anything she's saying. It's so flat, and it's so I think that people are deeply turned off by that on a fundamental level. And I think Trump, on the flip side, has absolutely horrendous policies, but he's got like the riz of it. So we end up with this fucking horrible 50-50 in this country. It's
of the corruption is unprecedented. There's the cover-up of the Epstein files, the crypto scams, cozying
This is
up
all
to
true. I mean,
foreign princes for
there is a massive Epstein Files cover-up, and we do have, it's cartoonish, the amount of crypto scams coming out of the White House. The fact that his dipshit kids are making literal billions of dollars from like Saudi money, it's like absurd. It's a real
planes and
well,
billionaires.
you gotta
for
make people
ballrooms,
feel that.
putting his name and face on
You
buildings
should be angry
all
about
over
that.
our nation's capital. This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot. So I'll ask again, is the president working for you? We all know the answer is no. But here's the special thing about America. On our 250th anniversary, we know better than any nation what is possible when ordinary citizens, like those who once dreamed right here in this room, reject the unacceptable and demand more of their government. We see it in the determination of students organizing school walkouts all across the country, whose voices are becoming so powerful that the governor of Texas seeks to silence them. We see it in the bravery of Americans in Minnesota standing up for their communities, from peacefully protesting in sub-zero temperatures to carpooling children to school so that their immigrant parents are not ripped away from them in the parking lot.
Is he working for you?
As a mother of 3 school-aged daughters, I am inspired by their bravery, but I am sickened that it is necessary. And Americans across the country are taking action. They are going to the ballot box to reject this chaos. With their votes, they are writing a new story, a more hopeful story. In November, I won my election by 15 points. And we won 13 new seats in our state legislature. Because voters decided they wanted something different. Our campaign earned votes from Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everyone in between. Because they knew as citizens they could demand more, that they could vote for what they believe matters, and that they didn't need to be constrained by a party or political affiliation. This is happening across the country. New Jersey elected Mikey Sherrill as governor in a double-digit victory. Democrats flipped state legislative seats in places like Georgia, Iowa, Mississippi, and Texas. The list goes on and on. Ordinary Americans are stepping up to run in the spirit of our forefathers. They are running to demand more and to do more for their neighbors and communities. I know this story well. I first ran for office in 2018 alongside dozens of other Democrats who did the seemingly impossible, flipping 41 seats in Congress. In my case, I was the first Democrat elected in 50 years, swinging our district 17 points.
It does.
Those who are stepping up now to run
will
like the Watch Mojo in November. Because Americans, you at home, know you can demand more.
That's pretty good.
And that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you. In his farewell address, George Washington warned us about the possibility of, quote, cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men rising to power. But he also encouraged us, all Americans, to unite in a common cause, to move
what he warned
this
us about,
nation.
what George Washington warned us about in his farewell address was how the two-party system would end up corrupting our democracy and lead to these corrupt, ambitious men coming to power. And that's sort of what we got, bro.
Forward. That is our charge once more, and that is what we are seeing across the country. It is deeply American and patriotic to do so, and it is how we ensure that the state of our union remains strong, not just this year, but for the next 250 years as well, because we, the people, have the power to make change, the power to stand up for what is right, the power to demand more of our nation.
At least the claps are like not standing O's.
May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and may God bless the United States of America.
All right. Short and sweet. Done, right? Done? No, I mean standing O's during. Standing O at the end, that makes sense. Well, I think it's done, right? Okay, we're done. Okay, well, at least relatively short and sweet. I think it would have been badass to do a fucking 30-second one. I think a 30-second rebuttal would have been so much cooler to be like, yeah, that was a bunch of lies. Inflation is bad. Costs are up. You can't, I think that would have been so much better. But, here's Biden doing the rebuttal in 30 seconds. What is this? What is this?
Have a slide idea?
This is Joe Biden doing the rebuttal in 1983 to Ronald Reagan?
All those problems. We can criticize the Republicans, and we will. We think, frankly, though, it's time we put up or shut up. So you're going to hear a number of proposals from the Democratic Party. Some of them are very basic, tried and true, and some of them are new ideas. But all of them fall within a very positive and hopeful democratic view. A vision of America that says we can rebuild to a strong economy. We can create better and more secure jobs. And we can really put this country back to work. And two other themes run through all the democratic ideas you're going to hear tonight. Opportunity and fairness, the cornerstone rights of the American people. As Franklin Roosevelt said during the recovery from the Great Depression, just 4 words are important now. These 4 words: it can be done.
That democratic view is fundamental.
That was it? Oh, wait. All right, young Joe. All right, young Joe. You know, the little walk and talk in the office, show people working. That's a better look than what we just had, but that guy will never be sleepy. Cereal meme. He didn't mention an alley cat. He didn't mention corn pop. What is this? I mean, whatever. I feel like it was about to teach me about workplace safety. Yeah, but that's just because it's an old 80s video. That does. Whenever it has that, like, the film grain, it looks like it's about to be a workplace safety video. Is the Dow up? That was from tonight. They just gave him a white monster. You still got it when you put a little energy in them. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. I think it was a really bad State of the Union. I'm just being super honest. And I think if I were to give you the state of our union right now, I think Trump aside, it's just bad. Again, I said this during Biden. I think we have a bad State of the Union, bro. I think a lot of traditional American advantages are being eroded away, and it's happening quickly. And I think we need real leadership to look seriously at these long, gaping 30, 40-year problems that are starting to really ruin people's lives. The endless gap between wages and costs, between the rising cost of university, the rising cost of houses, the rising cost of healthcare, the rising cost of childcare. Anything that requires, it isn't a TV or a toy, is getting way above wages. And it's causing a yawning wealth gap that is leading to a very small number of people who own the stocks and the real estate having decent lives and everybody else getting shittier lives. And that's like, no one's really addressing that, and certainly not with the urgency that we need. It's like everything. It's the most important thing. Anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to cover. TVs are cheap. That's true. TVs are cheap, and you know, just some of the thing in that State of the Union, just the cartoonish stuff about, yeah, we'll have a balanced budget next year. There's not anybody, no one on your own fucking staff, nobody would say that would happen. That's the same thing you said with Doge too, which did, I'm not exaggerating. Please look this up yourself. Doge did nothing. The deficit is the same as last year. The same as Biden. I'm sorry, the same as the last year of Biden. We didn't change anything. It's just, and that's not a problem that you can kick forever. We're at the end of the kicking. Isn't it worse? It's about the same. It's like about the same. We're running like a 6% of GDP deficit, which is like World War II levels, by the way. And we're not in a war. We're not in a crisis, really. It's supposed to be a good, like, the stock market is up. This is a time that's supposed to be economically good. Unemployment is technically low and stock market is up. And yet we are running these massive deficits just to keep that going. Well, we are out of, like, the rising gold price is showing the limits of the rest of the world's trust in the dollar. And the next time there is a bigger crisis, let's say we had a big drop in the fucking Dow, or we had a big drop in, or a big rise in unemployment, and we need to stimulate to get out of it, our wiggle room is like non-existent anymore. We can't print to get out of it because the printing will lead immediately to inflation. So we're just in a fucking, we need someone with intelligence. We need someone to really think about these problems and like make hard choices and raise taxes where we can on wealthy people and then also cut spending. You have to do both. Anyway, fine, I'll do it. All right, guys, I'm amazed is going to handle it. I'm amazed is going to handle it. All right, we're gonna, if you were worried about it, don't be. I'm amazed is going to get this shit figured out. They have a glizzy badge, so you know they mean business. W, we're saved. Thanks for watching. Linkus, thank you for the 51 months. Appreciate you. And I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go watch probably the Lakers game and chill for a bit. We recorded. We had a great lemonade stand today with a very special guest who you'll probably like. Non-political, but very, very interesting guest. Comes out tomorrow. Please check it out. Mwah, 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 mwah. Kiss goodnight. See you tonight. See you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for watching. It was Gerald Ford. Goodbye.